never sit back and watch as a people are mutilated and destroyed and then tell them not to fight back. The oppressor never has limits. So I don't think the oppressed can afford not to protect themselves. As Malcolm would say, by any means necessary. Basically, what I am trying to say is if you have any inkling that this case had nothing to do with racism, ask yourself some questions. Would Trayvon be dead if he was white? Would Zimmerman have followed him if a white boy was walking through the neighborhood? Who controls the military as they bomb other countries? Who controls the economy as children grab their bellies from hunger? Who controls the schools that fail to educate our children and miseducate our children? If you answer these questions, then you will find what structure that needs to be reimagined. Western civilization founded on white supremacy. America has always been the foundation of the ultimate illusion and lies in our world. As we sit here as Christians, Buddhists, agnostics, Jews, and every other religion represented here, one thing that I can say for sure is none of these religions include racism in their doctrine. No religion was formed to forget injustice or to just let it go by. Yes, Trayvon died because our society has built a reality that stereotypes people and says because you're black, you're a thug. Because you're black, you're lazy, and because you're black, America must exterminate you. But Jesus and the spiritual leaders of the world say that we must resist. We must fight back or we must die trying to change a system that killed Trayvon Martin and founded a nation on the agenda of white supremacy. We cannot back down. We cannot keep silent because one day our judgment will come. When we need someone to speak out for us, the people will say, I don't know you, and where were you when my cries went out? Where were you when my child was shot down in the streets? Where were you when my people were being thrown in jail? I needed you then, and you ignored me, so I say to you that I don't know you. We often don't consider things to be injustice until it affects our individual lives. We often scream oppression to uplift our individual agenda, but as the masses scratch and fight for food, water, and survival, we keep silent. As racism, the Western mind, destroys all of our communities, that the people look like me, I have to wonder how I can help to transform a system that continues to murder young men and women in poor communities around the world. My only hope is this dream that I continue to have, this dream of a world that lives to protect each other and to love each other. I often roll out of my bed and remind myself of this dream. I also think of a piece from MLK's final sermon. We have some difficult days ahead, but it really don't matter with me now. Because I've been to the mountaintop. And I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory and the coming of the Lord. He was assassinated the next morning. I have seen that glory. I have seen it in the eyes of children who dream of a peaceful world. I have seen it in the laughter of my mother who has strived from young single mother to mother of four and supervisor nurse. I see it in the life of my wife whose life has many times been rough, but she climbed out and said, I will survive and I will get through this. I see and feel that glory, but for all of us to grab that glory, we must start with the darkness. And in America, it begins with confronting racism. In America, it starts with confronting white supremacy. In America, it begins with telling the truth about our history. There has never been a country in history, never, that the invaders made the country better off than it was before. Never in history. I really would like us to think about that. May God embrace the family of Trayvon Martin and remind us of our duty as a people of one.